Some nights never really end. Even when the sun comes up. I used to believe that mistakes made while drunk would dissolve with daylight. Like fog. But some nights, some touches, some choices, they don't go away. They rot. Slowly. Inside you. That night started like any other gathering. Laughter. Family. Faces I barely remembered. And then, him. I don't even know what it was. His eyes, maybe. Or the way he leaned in when he spoke. Like the world outside didn't exist. Like I mattered. We drank. Too much. Too fast. Talked about things I've never told anyone. Things I didn't even know were still inside me. It was like he'd been waiting. Like we were just meant to fall. Not in love. Not even in lust. Just into each other. I didn't ask questions. Didn't think. Didn't care. His lips were warm. His hands certain. And for a moment. A long, reckless moment. It felt like the world had paused. Like this wasn't a mistake. Like I finally belonged somewhere. But belonging can be an illusion. A lie your body tells your heart. I woke up the next morning. Bare skin against his. Sunlight creeping through the blinds. My head spinning. My heart. Still caught somewhere between fear and craving. And then. I heard her voice. My mom. Outside the room. Calling. Did you talk to Ryan last night? You know. Monica's son? Your cousin from out of state? That name. That single name. My body went cold. Like something inside me broke. Or maybe it had already broken. And I was only just realizing it. Ryan. My cousin. Not a stranger. Not a guy I met at a party. Not just a drunken mistake. Blood. Family. And I'd let him touch me. I'd touched him back. Willingly. Desperately. Like I needed it. Like I needed him. No one knows. Not yet. But I do. And it's enough to destroy everything. Because some lines, once crossed, you can't uncross them. You can pretend. Lie. Bury it. But the shame, the heat of it, stays under your skin. Festering. Growing. Until even silence becomes unbearable. And I wish I could tell you this was the worst of it. But it wasn't. Not even close. There are stories that should never be told. But I'm telling you this one. Because it never stopped haunting me. Because sometimes, the truth is uglier than the sin. And this was only the beginning. I didn't talk to him after that. Not that morning. Not the day after. Not for weeks. I left before he woke up. Pulled on my clothes in silence. Didn't even look back. I told myself. It would fade. That people forget. That maybe he didn't even remember my name. But I remembered everything. The way he whispered into my neck. The way his hands explored like they belonged. Like we'd done this before. In another life. Or maybe, like we should have never done it at all. The worst part? It wasn't shame. It was how much I wanted to feel it again. I went back home. Sat at the dinner table. Smiled at my mom. Nodded through family stories. Laughed at jokes I wasn't listening to. All while that night replayed in my head. And then, a message. Just one. Was it wrong if it felt real? I froze. I knew it was him. No name. No context. But I knew. I didn't answer. But I didn't block him either. That's the thing about secrets. They don't stay buried. They breathe beneath your skin, whisper through your nerves, until you start to wonder if silence is really safer than truth. I started dreaming about him, waking up in sweat, confused, angry, aroused. Sometimes I'd open the message again, stare at it, wanting to reply, wanting to scream. Instead, I typed 3 words, then deleted them, typed them again, deleted again. Who are you? I didn't send it, because deep down I already knew. We were related. We shared blood. But in that moment, I didn't feel like his cousin. I felt like someone who had been touched, seen, devoured, and left behind with a craving I couldn't name. One night, I sat in the shower for an hour. Water too hot, skin red, trying to scrub him off me. But you can't wash away memory. You can't unlive something. Especially not something that felt like the only time I'd ever been wanted without apology. And maybe that's what made it worse. It wasn't forced. Wasn't violent. Wasn't some drunken accident I had no control over. I wanted it. I reached for him. I begged for more. And now? Now I couldn't even look at a photo of our family without my stomach turning. They had no idea. My mom. My Aunt Monica. His father. They saw us as kids who used to share juice boxes, who ran barefoot in summer, who called each other family without understanding what that meant. But we weren't kids anymore. And now we weren't just cousins either. We were something else. Something unspeakable. Unforgivable. And yet, not undone. I avoided family gatherings. Stopped replying to group chats. Said I was busy. Sick. Overwhelmed. The truth? I was hiding. From them. From him. From myself. Until one afternoon, a package arrived. No name. No return address. Just a box. Wrapped in plain brown paper. And inside, a necklace. Silver. Delicate. Familiar. I'd seen it before. That night. On the nightstand. His. Taped to the box. A note. You left this. Thought you might want it back. I dropped it. Let it clatter to the floor. Because it wasn't just a necklace. It was a reminder. That he remembered. That I wasn't the only one still living in that night. That he wanted to keep the thread between us alive. Why? To torture me? To pull me back in? Or because he was just as lost as I was? I didn't know. All I knew was that I wasn't ready for what came next. What if the real danger wasn't what happened between us, but what still might? I told myself I wouldn't go. I promised. It was just another family reunion. A birthday. A dinner. Nothing special. But my mother begged. Just come for an hour. It's been too long. Too long. That's what she said. But what she didn't know was that time means nothing when your past still breathes under your skin. I stared at the mirror before leaving. Put on extra makeup. Chose a dress that wasn't too much. But not too little either. Why? I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe some part of me still wanted to be seen. Even by him. Especially by him. The party was loud. Laughter. Music. Voices overlapping like waves. And then, I saw him. Across the room. Leaning against the kitchen counter. A glass in his hand. Same eyes. Same mouth. Same look that ruined me. He didn't smile. Didn't look away either. Our eyes locked. And suddenly the walls felt too close. The air too thick. I walked past him. Pretending not to care. Pretending I didn't feel every heartbeat in my throat. But I could smell him. That same cologne. Cedarwood. Heat. Him. He followed me to the backyard. Waited until no one else was around. And then, you didn't answer my message. His voice was low. Almost calm. But I could hear it. The weight. I didn't know what to say, I whispered. He stepped closer. Too close. Do you regret it? I blinked. Such a simple question. But how do you answer that? When the truth makes you sick? Do I regret it? The pleasure? The connection? The guilt? Yes. No. Both. We can't talk about this, I said. He didn't move. It wasn't just sex, was it? My stomach flipped. Ryan. It felt real. Don't lie. He wasn't begging. He wasn't angry. He just wanted to know. Wanted to hold on to that night. Like it was something sacred. Instead of something that destroyed us. I turned to walk away. He grabbed my wrist, gentle, not forceful. But it still burned. I think about you, he said. All the time. I yanked my arm back. Like his touch could brand me. Like the truth hadn't already left scars. You're my cousin, I snapped. Do you get that? Do you? He wasn't accusing. Just broken. And maybe that's what made it worse. Because I could see it. He hadn't moved on either. Neither of us had. The door opened. Voices spilled out. Footsteps approaching. I backed away fast. Don't follow me, I said. Don't text. Don't send things. Don't look at me like that. I walked back into the house. But I didn't go home. I drove. No destination. Just movement. Hoping the motion would shake him off me. It didn't. Because every mile I put between us, I carried him with me anyway. I stopped by a lake. Sat on the hood of my car. Watched the water move. And cried. Hard. Ugly. Like I was grieving something I never got to name. Maybe I was. Maybe I still am. We didn't fall in love. We fell into a secret we couldn't undo. And now? Now I didn't know if I hated him. For making me feel this way. Or hated myself more. For not wanting it to end. What do you do when the person you need most is the one you're not allowed to want? I didn't know he was coming. No one told me. But maybe they didn't know they had to. It was a small get-together. Just family. Warm. Loud. Familiar. I was starting to feel okay again. Faking it less. Laughing a little. Until the door opened. And he walked in. With her. His arm around her waist. Fingers grazing her hip. Too casual. Too practiced. She smiled at everyone. This is Mia. My girlfriend. Girlfriend. The word hit like ice water. I stood still. Smile frozen on my face. Pretending. Again. Mia had long hair. Soft voice. The kind of beauty that didn't need effort. She kissed my aunt on the cheek. Hugged my mother. Waved at me like we'd known each other for years. I waved back. But inside, I felt it crack. He looked at me. Just once. Quick. Sharp. Then looked away. Like I wasn't there. Like I hadn't once begged for his mouth against mine. Like I hadn't tasted his name in my sleep for weeks. Dinner was unbearable. They sat across from me, feeding each other bites, whispering little nothings. I tried not to watch, but it was like staring at a version of my life that never got to exist. He caught my eye once, and I saw it. The lie in his smile, the tension in his shoulders, the ache he hid behind jokes. But he didn't say a word to me. Not even goodbye. They left early. Said they had plans. Some concert. I nodded. Sipped my wine. Let it burn. That night, I checked my phone. No messages. Nothing. So I typed first. You didn't tell me. He replied in seconds. Tell you what? I stared. Then typed. That you moved on. He answered. Did I? I didn't reply. Because I didn't know what that meant. Or what he wanted. Or what I wanted anymore. But something in me broke that night. And something else came alive. Jealousy. Hurt. Need. I hated him. And I still wanted him. The next day, I found myself outside his apartment. I don't know how I got there. My hands just drove. My feet just moved. I waited in my car. Engine off. Rain tapping on the windshield. He came out alone. Running. No umbrella. I stepped out. He froze when he saw me. We stared at each other under the rain. Neither of us spoke. Until I did. She's pretty. He nodded. Didn't smile. I hate you, I said. I hate how you look at her. Like it means nothing. He stepped closer. It does mean nothing. I flinched. Then why are you with her? His eyes darkened. Because I can't be with you. I swallowed hard. Chest tight. Why not? You know why. Say it. We're cousins. Silence. Thunder in the distance. Rain louder now. I stepped closer. It didn't matter that night. It matters now. Does it? He looked away. Fists clenched. I think about you every day, he said quietly. But I can't ruin you. You already did. He looked back at me. And something passed between us. Not lust. Not anger. Something sadder. Softer. Like two people clinging to a memory neither of them chose. He touched my face. Just once. Fingers shaking. Then walked past me. Into the rain. Didn't look back. You can't lose someone you never had. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt like hell. After that night in the rain, I didn't see him again. Not for weeks. Not even online. I deleted his number. Blocked his account. Burned the shirt I wore that night. It didn't help. I still saw him. In strangers on the street. In shadows. In dreams. Sometimes I woke up thinking I could hear him whispering my name. Other nights, I screamed into my pillow. Just to feel something else. Anything else. Then one morning, I walked into the kitchen, half awake, and heard my mother on the phone. She was whispering. Not just softly. Whispering. That tone. I hadn't heard it since I was a child. Whenever she was talking about him. My father. The man who left. Or disappeared. I never really knew. I paused. Just long enough to hear her say. He doesn't know. And he can't. Promise me. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. The line went quiet. Then. No, it's not her fault. But if she finds out. Click. She hung up. I walked away before she saw me. But something had shifted. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Couldn't let it go. That day, I pulled out old boxes from the attic. Family photos. Birth certificates. Letters. Things I never touched. Things she never let me touch. I found one folder. Worn edges. Stained corners. Inside. One photo. Two men. Both young. Both laughing. One was my uncle. The other. My heart stopped. The other looked like Ryan. No. Not just like him. Exactly like him. Same eyes. Same jawline. Same crooked smile. But the date on the photo was from 24 years ago. Before either of us was born. And written in messy handwriting on the back. Summer '99, M&D, before it all broke. M&D. I stared at it. D. My dad's name was David. M. Ryan's father was Michael. Brothers? I rushed downstairs. Mom, I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. Were Dad and Uncle Michael close? She froze. Just for a second. Barely noticeable. But I saw it. They were friends, she said quickly. Why are you asking? I found a photo. They looked more than just friends. She turned to the sink. Started washing a plate that wasn't dirty. It doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. I pressed. Did something happen? Stop. Mom. I said stop. Her voice cracked. Not with anger. With fear. Real fear. And that scared me more than anything else. I walked out. My chest was tight. My mind louder than my heartbeat. Because something wasn't right. Ryan and I. We were cousins. But maybe not in the way we thought. I texted him. After all this time. Did your dad ever mention mine? Minutes passed. Then. Why? I sent him the photo. He didn't respond for hours. Then, finally. We need to talk. In person. My hand shook. My mouth dry. Because whatever this was. Whatever our mothers hid. It was bigger than guilt. Bigger than shame. It could change everything. Or destroy it. And in that moment. I realized. Maybe the worst part wasn't what we did. Maybe it was not knowing if we were even allowed to feel this ruined. We met at the park. The same one where we first kissed. Same bench. Same silence. But nothing else felt the same. He looked thinner. Tired. Like the truth had been eating at him. I sat. Waited. He didn't speak right away. Just handed me something. A letter. Old. Creased. From my dad to yours. I opened it. Shaky handwriting. Like someone wrote it with guilt clinging to every stroke. It started simple. Brother. Brother. I read that word again. You said it would be a mistake. You were right. I loved her anyway. I loved her the way I shouldn't have. And now she's pregnant. My hands froze. The paper almost slipped. I read on. I can't tell her. I can't ruin her life. Or the child's. But you deserve to know. My throat tightened. He looked at me. Your dad. My dad. And your mom. That's the triangle. What are you saying? He exhaled. I'm not your cousin. Pause. I'm your brother. The world spun. I didn't breathe. Didn't blink. Just. Numb. Half-brother, he added. Same father. Different moms. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was the only sound I could make. Before the screaming started inside me, I stood up, walked away. He followed. Don't. Just don't. I didn't know, he said. Not until that photo. Not until I showed my mom. She told me everything. And you didn't think to stop it? Us? How could I stop what I didn't know? I turned. You should have felt it. That it was wrong. Did you? I didn't answer. Because no. I didn't. It felt right. Too right. And maybe that's the worst part. I looked up at the sky. Gray. Heavy. Like it was about to break open. So all this time, I whispered. I was falling in love with my brother. He flinched. You didn't know. Does it matter? Silence. We just stood there. Two people tied together. By blood. By mistake. By something neither of us asked for. And I hated fate. I hated our parents. I hated the universe for putting us in each other's path. Because now I couldn't even miss him. Without feeling dirty. Couldn't mourn us. Without shame coating my skin. So what now? I asked. He didn't answer. And that silence was louder than any scream. We didn't sin. But we still burned for it. And now the fire won't go out. I told my mother. I had to. Because I couldn't keep breathing with that weight in my chest. I expected her to cry. To scream. To deny. But she didn't. She just sat down. Slow. Heavy. Like her bones couldn't hold her anymore. Then she said. I prayed this day would never come. She already knew. She always knew. I stared at her. Waiting for more. For an explanation. A reason. A lie to make it all better. She just covered her face. And whispered. I'm sorry. But it wasn't enough. Not for the nights I've lost. The shame. The guilt. The pieces of myself I'll never get back. I told her I hated her. That I wished I'd never been born. That I'd rather be an orphan than be this. She didn't stop me. She just sat there. Like a ghost still haunting the house she built. I packed a bag. Left that night. I didn't know where I was going. Just away. From her. From him. From everything. I turned off my phone. Deleted every photo of him. Every message. Even the voice notes I swore I'd never erase. I started over. New city. New name. New pain. Because you can't outrun blood. You can't forget what your body remembers. Even now. Some nights I wake up. And feel his arms around me. But when I open my eyes. It's just air. Just silence. And I lie there. Waiting for the memory to fade. It never does. Weeks passed. Then months. Then. A message. From a cousin. A real one. She heard. They all did. The family knew. They said I destroyed everything. That I was disgusting. A stain. Some called me liar. Others just blocked me. But worst of all, I heard that his mother left town. Without warning. Without goodbye. And Ryan? Gone. No one knows where. Or maybe they do. And they're protecting him. From me. Like I'm poison. Maybe I am. Because how do you look at yourself the same? After learning you loved your own blood? How do you smile? Knowing the softest moments of your life were built on a lie? How do you sleep? Knowing that if there is a God, He watched it all. And said nothing? I sit in this apartment now. Alone. Small. Clean, but empty. Sometimes I wonder if He's out there, writing about me in some journal. Or trying to forget me. I hope He's okay. I hope He forgives me. Even if I can't forgive myself. The worst part? I still love Him. That hasn't changed. And maybe it never will. We weren't monsters. We were just lost. But in trying to find love, we lost everything else. I thought I was done crying. Turns out, there's always more. Grief has layers. Like skin you keep peeling back. Until there's nothing. Until it's raw. I didn't leave the apartment for days. The world outside moved on. I didn't. The clock ticked. The sink leaked. The walls stayed quiet. Then, one morning, I opened the mailbox. A plain envelope. No return address. No name. Just my handwriting. The one he used to mimic when he'd write fake love notes in high school. Pretending to be me. I knew. My hand shook. But I opened it anyway. Inside, a single folded sheet. And a photo. Us. At the lake. The day we got lost hiking. Right before it rained. We were laughing. Back when laughter didn't feel illegal. I turned to the letter. I waited before writing this. I didn't want to make it worse. But silence can be cruelty too. I disappeared because I didn't trust myself. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw you. Not the sin. Just you. I still dream of the night we first kissed. Not because of how it started. But because of how I felt. Safe. Home. I know I should hate myself. But I don't. I should hate you. But I never could. You were my first everything. And that doesn't go away. Even if it should. I don't know if I'll ever come back. Maybe I'll spend the rest of my life hiding from who I am. Or maybe I'll find a way to make peace with it. But if I ever find peace, it'll be because of you. You made me feel something real. And maybe that's the only truth that matters. Please don't forget me. Even if the world tells you to. Ryan. I pressed the paper to my chest. And sobbed. Because I wanted to forget. But I couldn't. Because I wanted to hate him. But I couldn't. Because maybe he was right. Maybe what we had was wrong. On every page. But it was still the only chapter where I ever felt whole. That night, I lit a candle. Put on the playlist we made. Let the music carry me back. To the lake. To the park. To the room where our hands first found each other under the sheets. I let the memories come. And for once, I didn't push them away. I let them hurt. And in that pain, there was love. Still twisted. Still broken. But love. Love that should never have been. But was. And maybe that's the cruelest part. We never betrayed each other. Only the rules. The bloodlines. The past. We weren't evil. We were just born into the wrong stories. And now? Now I sit here. With nothing left. But a photo. And the echo of a name. I no longer dare to say aloud. I sit in the quiet. The kind of silence that screams. The kind where the weight of everything you've lost feels heavier than anything you've ever held. I haven't seen him. Haven't heard from him. And maybe I never will. But sometimes, when the sun starts to set, I think I hear his voice. Just a whisper. Like the wind. It calls my name. Softly. Like it's begging me to remember. But I can't. Not fully. Because if I remember him too much, I'll be stuck there. In that moment. In that place where we were perfect for a second. And I can't live in the past. I've spent too much time there already. So now, I'm trying to move forward. But it's hard. It's hard when all you have left is the ghost of something that should never have been. I'm still here. Still breathing. But I wonder if I'll ever really be alive again. I won't say I've forgiven myself. Because I haven't. And I don't know if I ever will. I haven't forgotten him. And I don't think I ever could. But I can't keep carrying this weight. I just can't. So, if you're listening, thank you. Thank you for staying with me. For hearing this story. I don't expect you to understand. I don't even expect you to forgive me. But I do hope, in some small way, this helped you see something about love. That sometimes love is messy. And sometimes it's wrong. But it's still real. And maybe that's the most tragic thing of all. So here I am. Still here. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. For now. But if you ever see him, tell him I'm sorry. Tell him I think about him sometimes. Tell him I'll always love him. Even if I can never touch him again. This isn't a happy ending. But it's the ending I have to live with. And maybe that's okay. I don't know what happens next. But I'll take each day as it comes. Because sometimes, it's all we can do. Thank you for listening. For sharing this. For letting me say the things I've kept buried. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find a way to forgive ourselves. Or at least, try.